All right, so what is so magical about shooting RAW? No, not photography RAW, but rather raw video. The short answer? Everything. Yeah, I really do mean everything. You have the ability to change color space, gamma, color temperature, tint shift, exposure, sharpness, highlights, shadows, color boost, saturation, mid-tone detail, as well as the lift, gain, and contrast. So what does all this really mean? Let's take a look at the Canon C300 Mark II's 4K RAW going into an Atomos recorder. I'm shooting this video on the Canon C300 Mark II, and I'm sending a 4K RAW signal out of the camera and into the Atomos recorder. The Atomos recorder is capturing onto a 1 terabyte SSD, so I'm shooting the entire video in Canon 4K RAW, minus the B-roll. When you shoot RAW, there is a ton of flexibility. That flexibility is not a get-out-of-jail-free card though. If you clip the highlights or you underexpose by 5 or more stops, you effectively end up ruining your shot. So exposing properly, even if you're shooting in RAW, is important. The Atomos Atom HDR tools make exposing that much easier and faster. So you should know that the Canon 4K RAW is captured as CinemaDNG on Atomos recorders. This means that the Canon RAW development software will not be able to read those files. That software is clunky anyway, so the great news is that both Resolve and Premiere Pro are able to read CinemaDNG files, and they both offer camera RAW controls. For my RAW workflow, I prefer Resolve. So let's bring the clip into Resolve. I'll add it to a new timeline. Whoa, what just happened? Why is the picture so dark? The reason is that the Atomos recorder is capturing the raw data straight from the camera sensor. So all the data is there. It's there for you to process that raw data any way that you want to. Okay, so now that my project's in Resolve, let's go into the color tab so that we can process our raw clip. So I'm going to decode the clip based on the clip settings. In other words, whatever adjustments I choose to make to that clip, instead of taking the camera's metadata. This will allow me to make any exposure adjustments that I want to make. If I need to make an adjustment or a tweak to the white balance, I have to select Custom from the select list. For color space, I'm going to select P3 because that will give me a lot more flexibility and won't lock me into the 709 color space. And because I selected P3 as my color, I'm going to select Gamma 2.6. So now that I've taken care of my decode settings, I can start making exposure adjustments. Having the waveform up while you're doing this is very helpful. Also, having a gray card or chip chart like this one at the beginning of your clip make it really convenient and easy for you to make additional adjustments. So once you're happy with the exposure adjustments, you have even more fine-tuning adjustments that you can make. You can adjust the shadows, the color boost, the saturation, and mid-tone detail, as well as lift, gain, and contrast. So you can see just how much flexibility you have to stretch and pull the image as much as needed. And the best part is that none of these adjustments are destructive. These adjustments simply get us to a starting point where we can then move on into our color grading process. You can think of raw decoding and processing as a way to balance and correct your image before you start your color workflow. It is so cool. That's why I'm addicted to shooting raw. Yeah, even though it adds time to my workflow. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Until next time, I'm Carlos with Media IQ, helping you compete in today's web economy. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.